Welcome to the Great Talks With podcast. I'm Dani, and today I'm going to talk with Diana Lara, who is the Executive Director of the Food Finders organization. If you haven't heard about it, Food Finders is a food rescue nonprofit organization focused on reducing hunger while also reducing food waste. They operate from a single headquarters in Orange County, California, but serve multiple counties within the south of the state. With over 30 years of work, they have engaged a huge network of volunteers and are able to quickly scale and rescue enough food to provide 30,000 meals per day. If you're new here to this podcast, press subscribe on YouTube or in your podcast app, because today we learn about how we can help reduce food waste and food insecurity. Hi, Diana. Welcome to our podcast.
Hi, Danielle. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's truly our pleasure. I wanted to begin our conversation talking about the social context of the region you work on. Because thinking of California, my mind usually goes to LA, San Francisco, Napa Valley, Silicon Valley. Like I think of richer regions. And since most of our listeners are actually foreigners, can you just tell us a little bit of how the social situation is right now so we can have a broader understanding of it?
Absolutely. And I think most people, when they think of California, they think of those same things, the palm trees, the movie studios and Disneyland. But there definitely is another side to that. And, people have been struggling with food insecurity for many years. Prior to the pandemic, 1 in 7 was struggling with food insecurity. And depending on what county in California you were at, that number, was even a bigger number. So once the pandemic hit, we started seeing those numbers double and triple. There were first-time people going to food banks because they were now furloughed. So, there definitely, like I said, is another side to California. You also saw quite a bit of food waste. And again, food waste was not new. There has always been food waste. 30 to 40% of food that's manufactured does not make it to our tables. And an even higher percentage is thrown away directly from our refrigerators. So what the pandemic did was really heighten that loss.
Wow, I can't imagine. And the numbers are pretty high. I mean, you said 1 to 7. It's a pretty high ratio, right?
Exactly.
And when you say, sorry, you were saying?
It's absolutely high. The rate in children is 1 in 4. And
Wow.
they need to rely on an adult for food. So it's really disheartening in some instances, but I'm really proud of what we're doing to help combat that.
Wow, that's great. And when you say food insecurity, can we just go through it a little bit more? Because I think most people also would say that whether you have food or you don't have food. So it's like you're starved or you don't starve. So what exactly is what food insecurity?
Food insecurity is when you don't know where your next meal will come from. So you may eat today at lunch, but you don't know when you're going to eat again. And that's what we call food insecure.
All right. Thank you. And in that context, how food finders have been working to help?
So what we are a food rescue organization, and we work with grocery stores, with manufacturers, with event centers, with hotels, with schools, and we rescue this edible food and then provide that to our nonprofits. So we're working directly with about 600 different food donors of all different types. And that is turned around the next day, same day, to our nonprofit base. And our nonprofit base is probably about 400 currently. And that's throughout LA County, Orange County, Riverside County, and San Bernardino counties. So we pick that up from a group. We're picking up, let's say, produce and dairy and meat products and bread products at Trader Joe's. And then we take that directly to an agency like a Lutheran Social Services or a neighborhood pantry, and then they distribute that the same day.
That must require a huge network of people working with you, right? So how does that work for you right now?
So we are a volunteer-based organization. We probably have about 400 volunteers that help not only pick up food for us, but also help in the warehouse here or help with different projects in the office. We're very blessed with the tremendous amount of volunteers that we have. We also have 3 drivers. So all of our larger loads, like from our manufacturers and our distributors, those are all picked up in our trucks. So we have 3 drivers and 4 vehicles, 3 trucks and 1 van, all refrigerated.
Great. I mean, it really is something that I think helps to build a community together, right? I mean, absolutely. Because you kind of see your neighbors and your friends doing something.
Right. And what was really interesting when the pandemic hit, we had just beta tested a volunteer app in February, rolled that app out in March the 4th to be exact. And then a few weeks later, the country pretty much shut down. And we were very fortunate because of that app. Our volunteer base, the average age, I would say, prior to last year was about between 60 and 70 years old. So those people with the time to volunteer, of course, that's the same age group that was told to self-isolate. So we were like, oh my God, what are we going to do? But the app was out there and people started downloading the app and saying, I'm healthy, I'm furloughed, I want to give back. Or I'm working from home, I've always wanted to do something like this during my lunch hour, now I can. And we had an amazing year. We recruited 400 plus volunteers last year. And even with all of our volunteers that had self-isolated, we still were able to operate as normal. And that was a huge relief to the organization because, it was our time to do all the things that we talk about and providing to those in need. And now those people in need were doubling and tripling. So absolutely very blessed.
Oh, that's a brilliant outcome from a terrible situation. I mean, that's really something to feel blessed for. And I was thinking about how this whole COVID crisis had impacted you. So it probably would have taken a toll on people helping, but apparently you really raised up from the situation, right?
Absolutely. It was the perfect storm in terms of that app coming into play just at that particular moment. We were not as affected by the pandemic, and we were able to last year rescue over 17 million pounds of food. We participated in 3 rounds of the USDA Farms to Families program. So we did have a phenomenal year last year in spite of the pandemic.
That's great to hear, truly. And when you were saying that people could donate food, what kind of food can be donated?
Both perishable and non-perishable. Our donations range from any type of frozen meat products to this morning, Rockview Farms called, and they have a pallet of dairy items for us, to just somebody that's, bought some canned soup with no salt by mistake and want to donate that. So it's anything and everything in between. The only thing that you cannot donate is baby food. Baby food is regulated, both baby food and formula. So nothing, that type of product that is expired cannot be donated. Okay. Other than that, there's no, there's really no stipulations on what can and cannot be donated.
Great. And there is any aspect that donors should be aware for donating the food they have. Maybe they have some concerns about liability, especially for people that can make actually big donations, right?
Absolutely. So we're very fortunate in the state of California. They have rolled out what we call SB 1383, which is a short-lived climate pollution act. And what it does is it is forcing manufacturers and distributors to partner with organizations like ours to rescue more edible food from the landfill. So they are going to, in January, start reporting. They need to start reporting, the progress that they've made. And in addition to that, you have your Good Samaritan Act that was enacted by President Clinton. And that, in addition, there's liability protection to anybody interested in donating. We also carry our own liability insurance, as do all of the nonprofit partners that we work with. So any donor can rest assured that if they're donating a product that they know is edible to the organization, then there is absolutely no worry from that in terms of liability.
That is great to hear. And people listening, you have pretty much no reason now not to donate if you live in California.
Absolutely.
Mind that.
Right. It's just a matter of, they don't think about it. We're in the, I've heard everything you can imagine from, we're in the business to sell food, not donate food. But yeah, it does so much for the business as well. Obviously, there's a tax incentive for the business by donating product, but also knowing that they're giving back to their community. We try as much as we can to keep the food that's donated in the community where it's donated. So they're providing to their own community.
That's a beautiful way to put it, honestly. And I think that's very, very important in those current times. I feel that we need to make those bonds stronger, right?
Absolutely.
And what about the programs you have running right now? Can you tell me a little bit about them, please?
Absolutely. So our main program is obviously our food rescue program. And we're doing over 1 million pounds a month that we're rescuing. And that is the core of what we do. We also operate a Food for Kids program. This Food for Kids program, what happens is during the school year, Food Finders provides 385 bags to 15 schools in the city of Long Beach. And these bags ensure that these families have enough food to eat over the weekend. This coming year, we're going to double the number of schools that we're providing these bags to and really grow the program. So really excited about that. And the bags contain enough food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the weekend for a family of 4. So in many cases, or we hope that we're supplementing, but in many cases, we know that this is what they're eating over the weekend. One of the other programs that we have and we hope to kick off next year also is our Healthy Choices program. What this program does is it provides food waste education, nutrition education, a cooking demonstration, and an organic bag of produce to a either low-income housing senior program or a family program. And what's so special about this program is, a lot of times we can provide some of the best produce, asparagus and broccoli and, you name it. But if they don't know how to cook it, they've never tried it, then guess what? They're not going to take that broccoli and that asparagus. They're going to leave it there and they're going to grab those potatoes and those onions. So it's really important that you show them how to prepare it. And this program even provides the recipe card for the program of what it is that they made that day. And it's really interesting because when we have this program with the seniors, they love the fact that it's a 6-week program and they're able to get together with their peers that even though they may live in the same building, they don't know who they are. And then they're tasting new things. And the same with the low-income residential family units. These kids are learning how to cook, and they're learning how to taste these different things that they've never tasted before. And then they take that home and say, hey, I really like asparagus. Can we make this? And here's how we did it in class. So, they're eating fresh organic produce, but they're also, learning something new.
You're basically providing the whole package, right? I'm teaching you I'm bringing you the food and teaching you how to eat and enjoy it.
Exactly. So it really is a great program. We also have one other program. It's a brand new program that we hope to kick off in the next couple of weeks, and it's our food hubs. What we've done is we've purchased 2 refrigerated shipping containers, and we hope to purchase more in the coming years. But these shipping containers are going to be placed in 2 counties or 2 sections of Long Beach, one on the west side of Long Beach and one on the north side of Long Beach. And these 2 sections are considered food deserts, meaning that they do not have access to grocery stores close to where I think it's within like a 3-mile radius. They have to travel out of their zip code in order to go to a grocery store. And many times they don't have access to a vehicle. So now they're taking a bus or an Uber to get to, or having to get a ride to get to the grocery store to get the things that they need. So by putting these food hubs in these zip codes, it allows our partner agencies that are located in those zip codes to have access to perishable items now. Many of these partner agencies don't have a refrigeration, so we're only able to give them non-perishable. Now with these refrigerated shipping containers, they're going to be able to go on the day they do their distributions and pull as much refrigerated items as they like from these hubs, take that back to their site, and now distribute, more product, more fresh produce and dairy products and whatever we have in the shipping containers, that day. We're also going to host 2 community events, one at each site every month, which is going to open it up to the community at large. And we hope to be able to do demonstrations on how to grow your own produce. The plan is to put raised beds at each location and teach people, how to grow their own food. And that's in collaboration with the city of Long Beach. So it's really exciting, because if you can teach somebody, although it's not easy, I'm trying, if you can teach somebody how to grow their own food, it's that pride that they're not having to stand in line to get, those tomatoes or whatever it is they're growing. They can now grow it in a pot, on their porch or, in their apartment or what have you. So super excited about that program. And again, we hope to kick at least one of the hubs off in the next 2 weeks.
I hope you do too, honestly. And my final question to you is, if anyone listening to us, I'm going to start that over. And my last question to you is, if anyone listening to us right now wanted to help food finders, how can they help?
Oh my goodness. The easiest way is go to our website and donate to the organization. That is what keeps the lights on and, the doors open and the trucks on the road. So definitely help by donating. And note that for every $1 donated, we're able to provide 11 meals. So even if you only have $5, you're still going to provide 55 meals. And that's a lot. People don't think, well, $5 isn't going to really help, but it really does. It really does make a difference. Obviously, donate food. We're always in need of food. So if you've got perishable or non-perishable, or you have a brother that works for this organization and they're always talking about, they throw so much food away, do that introduction of food finders to this person. Volunteer. We're always in need of volunteers. Our volunteers go on vacations too. During the summers and during the holidays, they want to spend time with their family. So volunteer at the organization to pick up and deliver food or work in the warehouse or what have you. What else can they do? I mean, there's just so many ways to get involved. Even something as simple as sharing our information on social media. We have Instagram, we have Facebook, we're on LinkedIn and Twitter. So even resharing our information is really helpful to the organization because now you're sharing it to a larger audience.
Great. Listen, people, donate, help out, spread the word. Thank you so much, Diana, for talking to us. I loved it. Truly, it's been a great talk. I've learned a lot. And I wish you all the best, honestly, that the hub goes out soon.
I hope so too. And thank you so much again, Daniela, for giving us an opportunity to share the wonderful work that we're doing in the communities. Thank you.
Again, it was our pleasure. And for you listening, also, thank you. And if you enjoyed this episode, press subscribe on YouTube or in your podcast app. That will show the algorithms that this is an important conversation, so more people can learn about the importance of the food finders. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye.